Today on MHK All Day, we have an update on COVID-19 in Riley County, as well as some gardening tips from the horticulture department.
And later in the show, we take a look at how local musicians are continuing to create and support the community while under a stay-at-home order.
Good morning and welcome to MHK All Day. I'm Molly Hackett.
And I'm Monica Diaz. Later in the show, we'll get a live demonstration on how to make your own cheese balls for National Cheese Ball Day. But first, we have a Riley County COVID-19 update. As of Thursday evening, the Riley County Health Department is reporting 26 positive cases of COVID-19. More than 150 negative tests have been administered in the county, and 12 people who previously tested positive for the virus are counted as recovered. 11 tests are pending, and there are currently no individuals with COVID-19 in Riley County hospitalized.
I want to thank everyone again for your dedication to this order and for your hard work. We've been together in this from the beginning, and we will continue to see it through to the end together.
In the long term, there is expected to be far-reaching economic impacts across the region caused by the novel coronavirus. In Manhattan, city officials are taking early steps to make up for anticipated budget shortfalls of $3 to $8 million caused by low sales tax revenues. The city collects about 40% of its budget from sales tax, a cash stream slowed by the limitations in place from the essential business framework. Essential functions are expected to be carried out as normal, but there could be disruption to other full-time staff and city services, especially through the summer months.
It's anticipated that things will slowly get back to normal. We don't know when that new normal will be, but because we haven't really seen the peak of the virus yet in Kansas.
Just this week, Kansas State released statements in regards to online classes for the summer and how orientation and enrollment will be different for students coming to K-State. Now we go to Dawson Wagner for more news in 90 seconds.
Good morning and welcome to News in 90. I'm Dawson Wagner. Earlier this week, Kansas State University released a statement from Provost Chuck Tabor announcing that teaching and learning for the 2020 summer school session will be conducted online. This decision comes after an abrupt transition mid-semester to online courses that the university wants to prevent happening this summer by making the decision now. And all the while reducing fees by setting a single standard online payment of $70 per student for each credit hour this summer. Speaking of summer, K-State orientation and enrollment also has been moved online, with virtual campus tours that will be given by current K-State students and the accessibility to set up online enrollment appointments. The admissions office is aiming to provide as close of an experience for those that may not be able to see campus in person this summer. To conclude this week on News in 90, some music for hope. On Easter Sunday, by invitation of the city and of the Duomo Cathedral of Milan, Italian global music icon Andrea Bocelli gave a live-stream solo performance representing a message of love, healing, and hope to Italy and the world. That's your News in 90. I'm Dawson Wagner for MHK All Day.
Gardening has become one of many hobbies people have picked up since the coronavirus. Reporter Alan Garrett has some tips for those new to the gardening experience.
See, it's a good time for gardening. Today I got a chance to talk to Charles Murray and Lindsay Tenner to get some tips and tricks on how to garden during the pandemic.
Are called the warm season crops. And those, as the name implies, grow best in warm weather. They will not tolerate a frost or freeze, and so we can't begin planting those until the danger of a freeze is past. And generally here in the Manhattan area, that's somewhere in late April. So it's really an ideal time for planting those warm season crops in the next week or two coming up.
Tomatoes and peppers and okra and cucumbers and all those fun things we want to plant because they will freeze. We're supposed to have snow tomorrow, so it's not a good idea to plant tomatoes until it really warms up. But you can plant lettuce and spinach and broccoli and some of what they call the cold crops, because they will withstand very cold temperatures. And so that would be a place to start.
Crops can be grown again in the fall because we have as much cool weather in the fall as we do in the spring. So if you're anxious to have lettuce and cabbage and broccoli and all that kind of stuff, you can actually start that sometime from mid-July to mid-August and grow it again in the fall season. So the gardening season, really, there's still plenty of season to grow anything you want to grow. The warm season crops planting in the next few weeks, the cool season crops planting late summer and growing on into the fall.
And okra and sweet potatoes, you plant them when it warms up. And broccoli and cauliflower it's getting a little late if you try to plant them into May, but you can plant tomatoes into June and have them do just fine. They're a little slower because it takes a long time. It takes about 55 days for tomatoes to mature.
And now we wait. More live from my home garden. I'm Alan Geary, MHK All Day.
Although it got a little chilly last night in Manhattan, the time to start digging in our gardens is just around the corner. We now go to reporter Stephanie Nutt from her kitchen.
Don't go anywhere. I'm going to be showing you how to celebrate National Cheese Ball Day with a recipe to try in self-isolation after the break.
From the golden flowers that give our state its nickname, to Kansas City's smoky scarlet barbecue, past the unique tint of limestone bedrock, we drive with pride to support future K-Staters. From the hilltops of Lawrence to the familiar streets of Aggieville, we love to show our purple pride. Whether you are K-State alumni or Wildcat fans, purchase the #1 Affinity license plate in Kansas today and help us paint the highway purple.
What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle and to serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition, passion.
No worries.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land grant university? Community, progress, you. Open doors, warm hellos, classes spark ideas, traditions create memories. Labs lead to partners, late nights, crazy nights. Hail, hail, hail. Studying hard, hardly studying. One last Manhattan sunset, caps and gowns, pomp and circumstance. We're on this journey together, remembering that every open door can lead to a warm hello. What is the K-State experience? Family, pride, you.
We have reporter Stephanie Nutt with us live on Zoom today to show us some cheese ball recipes to celebrate its national holiday. Stephanie?
Thanks, Monica. Yes, today is National Cheese Ball Day. It's one of the many fun and delicious holidays out there. I had the opportunity to create a delectable yet simple recipe. I hope everyone has the opportunity to follow along with the recipes so that they too can celebrate this yummy holiday. April 17th is also known as National Cheese Ball Day. To celebrate, I'm going to make a delicious and simple recipe here myself. To start off with ingredients, you're going to want 16 ounces or 2 blocks of cream cheese, 1 packet of ranch seasoning, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, 1/4 cup of diced shredded onions, and 1 cup of bacon. You're going to want to get a bowl large enough to mix all the ingredients and a spoon to mix it with. First off, you're going to add in your cream cheese blocks. and your packet of ranch seasoning. You're going to go ahead and mix those together until they're all good and meshed. Now that that's all stirred together, you're going to want to add your shredded cheddar cheese, your diced onions, and your bacon. Now that those are added, you're going to want to mix these together. I am mixing with a spoon, but don't be shy and get in there with your hands. Now that's all mixed together, you're going to want to roll it up into a ball and chill in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 hours. I went ahead and already did that, so let's go ahead and try it. Oops. It's very good. Celebrating National Cheese All Day, I'm Stephanie Nutt, MHK All Day. If you have more of a sweet tooth, I have a cheese ball recipe for you too. Ingredients include 8 ounces or 1 block of softened cream cheese, a half a cup of softened unsalted butter, half a cup, or 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla, 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of both miniature chocolate chips and toffee bits, and 1 cup of chopped pecans. To get started, you're going to beat the cream cheese and softened butter until it's all light and fluffy in a bowl, and then you're going to add in the vanilla, powdered sugar, and brown sugar, and then you're going to mix until well combined. And then you're going to stir half a cup of chocolate chips and half a cup of toffee bits. You're going to cover the bowl with cling wrap and refrigerate that for 2 hours. And then you're going to shape it into a ball and refrigerate an additional hour. Be patient, it's worth it. And then you're going to combine the leftover chocolate chips and toffee bits and then roll the ball in there. And then you're going to refrigerate it until it's ready. I recommend eating this dessert cheese ball with graham crackers. Enjoy the holiday. Back to you, Molly.
If you're craving something sweet or savory, National Cheese Ball Day is a holiday that you can participate in at home with a few ingredients and a simple recipe.
Due to COVID-19, all public events have been canceled. This has impacted concerts and music festivals greatly. More locally, though, musicians in Kansas City and Manhattan who book their own shows now have nowhere to perform. But as time goes on, they are learning how to adapt and continue to support one another. Sarah Wallace has more.
Okay. We're going to play some songs for you. Thanks for being here.
1, 2, 3.
COVID-19 has uprooted everyday life, causing all public events to be canceled. Some of those hit hardest are local musicians who can no longer play live shows. Local artist Allison Hawkins says that when the stay-at-home order was issued, they immediately had 5 shows canceled.
It was just like such a hit. It felt really surreal because this has never happened before. I've never experienced anything like it. And it's such a part of my routine in my daily life to go to shows. Like every other day I go to shows. And so I was really inspired by watching other people do live streaming. And I wanted to connect with people and sort of make up for all the lost shows that we lost.
The restrictions of having a stay-at-home order has prevented Allison's band from being able to get together to practice, but adaptation has become their best friend.
I mean, I still want our music to exist. I feel most present in the scene when I'm playing gigs and like putting myself out there. And I think that for True Lions to stay alive, we have to live stream because that's the world that we're living in. And we have to adapt because we don't want the music to die.
Streaming concerts right from your couch is just one way to support artists right now. More opportunities are continuing to arise. Local record label Mana Records released an album of local artists doing covers to raise money for venues.
I know it started with just like video chatting about what we could do to like help in this situation because a lot of our friends work at these places or in service industry in general, I should say. So we were like, how do we give back? So we narrowed it down to a few places that
we know we're locally owned and like not necessarily always a music venue, but have like hosted us to try to help their staffs out. And then we thought, how do we do that without any shows happening? And a digital compilation of covers is what came of it.
This album features 13 local artists and can be found on Bandcamp.
It started off really, really crazy. That first day was everybody, so many people were donating even more than the set amount. Very happy of like what we've done already. And the fact that we can all just like sit in our houses and raise money is cool. Like that's where it's like, no matter what we do, it's still helpful.
And this is only the start of Manor Records' plan to help raise money for the community using art.
Yeah, so I'm actually excited to announce that next Friday, we will be publishing our first edition of Manor Zine. We've got several musicians that we're going to do like little interviews with, little write-ups and give some background on them. And my good friend Kathleen Murray is also designing a couple of coloring pages to have in there.
In Manhattan, I'm Sarah Wallace for MHK All Day.
To find out more on how to support your local artists during this time, visit manorrecords.com.
Up next, we'll be going to our sports team for an update on what is happening in the sports community. And later on in the show, we'll have smoothie recipes to help sweeten your weekend.
Knowledge is more than a piece of paper. It's being committed to leaving the world a better place, dedicated to limitless learning. Conducting research that is tried and true, and then tried again. Crossing disciplines, blazing trails, discovering better methods that lead to global solutions. What is the K-State graduate student experience? Unrestricted. Proven. You. The heart-pounding roar. A sea of purple, wielding twists and turns. The sincere smile and simple phrase. Legacies that span generations, blurring the line between fans and family. Believing we bleed a different color. Foundations defined by a single stone. That special place you love full well. What makes traditions unforgettable? Loyalty. Purple. You. The limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, a transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you. Open doors, warm hellos, classes spark ideas, traditions create memories, labs lead to partners, late nights, crazy nights. Hail, hail, hail? Shh. Studying hard, hardly studying. One last Manhattan sunset, caps and gowns, pomp and circumstance. We're on this journey together, remembering that every open door can lead to a warm hello. What is the K-State experience? Family, pride, you.
We have Daisy Hagorn live on Zoom with us today to update us on what's happening in the sports world. Daisy?
Thanks, Molly. This week, Sporting KC had a Wallpaper Wednesday. Kansas State men's basketball earned 2 new recruits, and K-State fans showed off where they watched the Wildcats. To start us off, we head down to Kansas City. Sporting KC hosted their hashtag Wallpaper Wednesday. The professional soccer club interacted with the fans by sending them personalized wallpapers. The fans could choose between a primary or secondary color, then have their own name and number on it. Soon after Sporting KC sent out the tweet, the Kansas City fan base were quick to respond. This first one comes from Kirsten Ann, who wanted the extremely popular secondary color and her favorite name and number. Soon after, Darby Hawk responded. He also chose the secondary color, his awesome nickname, and being a huge Patrick Mahomes fan, Darbs customized his to number 15. It's been a crazy offseason so far for Kansas State men's basketball. Starting with James Love III and Nigel Shad leaving, Cartier Jada transferring to Virginia Tech, and just last week, David Sloan entered the transfer portal. College basketball had its national signing day this Wednesday, April 15th, and K-State men's basketball had 2 highly recruited prospects sign with them. The first being Siri Lewis, a 6'9" power forward from Chicago. Lewis was a 3-star prospect and rated as one of the top power forwards in the country. He was ranked 13th in the state of Arizona while playing at his high school at Arizona Compass Prep. Lewis also played for the #1 AAU team in the country, the Mac Irvin Fire. Next is a nationally ranked junior college transfer, Rudy Williams. After playing 2 years at Northeast Oklahoma A&M College, Rudy found himself ranked 54th on the 2020 JUCORecruiting.com. K-State Sports tweeted out to fans asking for a picture of their cat caves. It didn't take long for diehard cats to share their pictures with the Twitter world. This first one comes from Steve Becker, who has no shortage of banners, which I'm sure many K-Staters are actually quite jealous of. Steve proudly hangs a jersey in his cat cave as well. Justin Sullivan's cat cave has all the memorabilia around Kansas. From posters to jerseys, he even has a foosball table. Up next, we get to see Dan Welch's family room. Dan's area also has posters and jerseys, but here you can see a signed football and basketball next to his very own legacy brick. Finally, we get to see this little guy. At Chip Dude, MHK's son made himself a cat cave in the corner of his own bedroom. He proudly hangs gloves signed by Zach Ruder, a Dalton Reisner autographed mini football, and a 2019 football schedule signed by the team. There's also a baseball, which had a follow-up tweet about. Chip said that ball was given to his son by the Marlins man himself. Chip says him and his son are so blessed to have met so many athletes, coaches, and fans. Without surprise, K-State football had to learn a lot of different skills during this time. Quarterback coach Colin Klein says a virtual relationship isn't as good as shaking a recruit's hand. As far as getting out in the field goes, Klein says we have to be patient.
For a lot of things, I think it's just put everything on pause. I think, we've been just like everybody has. I mean, really making an aggressive effort to try to do everything like we would. We were in person as far as, trying to get as good of an evaluation on players as we can, trying to build relationships virtually. Honestly, it's been great for us to kind of build that infrastructure, so to speak, to be able to do that with recruits. It's probably better than I was expecting, but it's obviously not as good as you want it, being able to shake their hand and have them on campus and really get to know them in person. But the hard part is just it's hard for young guys and impossible really for them to make decisions and final decisions and move forward with things until they actually get their feet on your campus. So it's put a lot of things on hold, but we've still been able to develop good relationships and push forward. So, I think the biggest thing is just be patient, and that's it's not really rah-rah, I guess, maybe if that's but, we just got to be patient. We got to hang together and know this. I mean, it's going to end. We're going to play football this fall and then when we are able to get together, let's make it one heck of a family reunion. And on our end, it's going to be making sure that, we're as prepared as we can be under adverse circumstances. And then obviously when everything's safe and everything's ready to roll, then, we pack that place out and come back together like never before.
I'm sure there are thousands of fans who are ready to make it one heck of a family reunion. That's all we have this week in sports. Check us out next Friday for your sports news and fitness tips. Monica?
Up next, we got smoothies. We'll be ending on a fresh note, so don't go anywhere.
I know a spot that I love full well.
'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell.
I think of thee, alma mater.
We'll carry thy banner high. Long, long, may thy colors fly.
Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
Our community is more than a group of people. It's a place where the golden rule becomes the purple rule. It's recognizing the value of every individual and affirming the importance of diversity. It's freedom to have a different perspective. It's honesty underscored with understanding. It's becoming a piece of the greater good. We are many, we are one. Most of all, we are family. What defines the K-State community? Compassion, honesty, you. We may take different paths, but we all move forward, preparing for our future in the same historic library. We meet friends in the bustling student union and experience the exciting atmosphere of campus events. We appreciate individual interests and shared passions. Many different paths, one distinct destination. How does campus life become life experience? Connections, involvement, you.
Need a new tasty snack? A smoothie might be exactly what you need. Reporter Bailey Matthews has more on how to create a simple smoothie.
Something that's made my quarantine experience so much better is making smoothies at home. So this is going to be a super simple strawberry banana smoothie that only takes a couple ingredients. The first ingredient is a cup of strawberries. Now mine are frozen, but you can use fresh ones. Next is 1 whole banana. This can be frozen or fresh. Our next ingredient is almond milk. I'm using unsweetened vanilla, but you can use the kind that you prefer. You'll put in 1.5 cups of this. And after that, you'll put in ice. The more ice you put in, the thicker your smoothie will be. The last ingredient is totally optional, but I like to put 2 Splenda packets in for a sweeter taste. Other ways to sweeten your smoothie are adding honey, agave, or maple syrup. But remember, a little sweetener goes a long way. So now at this point, we have all of our ingredients in our blender. So we're gonna put our lid back on, make sure that's secure. And then we're going to turn on our blender. Okay, and our smoothie is done. From here, you get the cup of your choice and fill it up. And now for my favorite part, the taste test. Yep, as close as perfect as it gets. This is Bailey Matthews with MHK All Day.
That's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in to MHK All Day.
We'll see you next week.